contraction and relaxation are just like so fast. I mean, like instantaneous almost. So these are pictures right out of your book, good ones to look at and remember about the steps of contraction and relaxation. And this is just a picture of, you know, how the, you know, what it's going to look like between a relaxed and contracted muscle based on the structure of the sarcomere. I got carried away here. I had a whole bunch of them. They're all the same. See, these even move. You beat. There you go. Now, this is just kind of a review. You've already seen this sort of stuff, but these are, I just wanted to finish with this. And then I've got just a couple of things more to say about muscle, and then we'll be done. So that you know what the SR does, and you know what the transverse tubules do. And this is just another picture that shows the arrangement of where they are in the muscles. So that's simple enough. Another picture, you see I got a little carried away with my pictures here, but it's okay, you know, it's not going to kill you. Well, it might kill you. No. All right. So we're pretty much done with that. Now, just very briefly here, I want to make mention of one thing that's in your book that has to do with types of muscle fibers. They're not all sort of equal, believe it or not. We'll talk about Kenyan marathon runners here. Fast fibers, slow fibers, and what most of us are, just somewhere in between. Fast, slow, intermediate. Fast fibers, fast skeletal muscle fibers, are adapted for brief periods of intense exercise. They basically operate at a sort of an anaerobic level. They're very fast twitch, so to speak. So if you look at let's look at an athlete who might be highly adapted in the fast fiber mode. Brief periods of intense exercise. I sort of look at, you know, athletic event that you might find fast fibers in. Might be something like you're thinking, oh yeah, like a sprinter, you know. Well, maybe, but even more intense than that. Perhaps like a weightlifter, where the whole thing's going to last like 3 seconds. You know, they're very strong, you know, down over the bar, you know, they're going to lift this enormous weight, but, you know, bingo, it's very quick, very intense exercise, it's done, the refs say, okay, good lift, they drop it, and they're done, right? Very fast movement.
Explosive.
Explosive, thank you, that's another good term for it. But I think in the realm of other athletic events where you might find fast fibers would be the sprint events. You know, say the 100 meters, the 200 meters, you know, very intense periods of exercise. In the swimming pool, things like the shortest international event that's swum is the 50-meter freestyle. It's over in a heartbeat. Sometimes I don't even think the guys breathe. You know, it's one length of the pool, down and done if it's a 50-meter pool, right? You know, probably fast twitch. Slow fibers, longer duration. Aerobic metabolism. We're looking at longer, you know, see, here's, it's, I don't want you to think, well, slow, well, how could a Kenyan that's running a 2 hour and 3 minute marathon, that's not slow, that's fast. I agree, right? But the type of fibers that you find in individuals like this can exert, you know, intense exercise, but longer periods of time. So they're not slow, but the fibers are slow, right? So I think if you sort of, who's going to win this? Let's see. We've got a Kenyan marathon runner and Usain Bolt, the world's fastest man, and say, look, you know, I got $1 million here in my back pocket if you can beat me in 100 meters. Well, the Kenyan marathon runner's not going to take that bet. He knows he's not going to get 100 meters. But poor Usain, if the Kenyan comes up to him and says, I got $1 million in his pocket and says, I'll beat you in a 26.2 mile run. Well, you know he's not going to take that bet. Of course he's going to win. Right? It's a different adaptability. You can have muscle biopsies done and you can determine what kind of fibers you got, but training can only do so much. Genetics is probably, you know, the main determination here. Through training, you know, you can, most of us are intermediate, somewhere in between, but through training, yeah, you can maybe, you know, change your physiology to a certain extent, but you're kind of stuck. Right? So if you want to find out, you know, how you're going to retire, what your son or daughter is going to support you with from their athletic winnings in your old age, well, I wouldn't go out and have the muscle biopsy. That seems to be rather cruel. I mean, I had a biopsy on my muscle done, and it wasn't for this, it was because I was stupid. They offered me money, and I worked at the Indian Hospital in Phoenix, and we did muscle biopsies on our patients. We were looking at muscle physiology. And so one day, the boss of the unit knew I was a runner, came to me, his name was, well, everybody called him Bo, I can't remember his name anymore. He came to me, he said, you want to do a muscle, you want to volunteer for muscle biopsy, we'll pay you. And I'm going, well, how much? I don't remember what it was, but it certainly wasn't enough. And I'm going, was it